Hello everybody out there, it is Jadis Joe, and today we're taking a look at Final Fantasy Worlds. Took me a while to do the video on this because I really was wanting to sit down and think about the game itself. When I first sat down and played it, I did not enjoy it, but then the more I sat there and thought about it, I really still didn't enjoy it, but I can see why Square Enix did what they did and why it is important. Pretty much the whole reason why I didn't enjoy it was because it has that whole Pokemon stacked little monsters on top of your head sort of thing, which is just kind of too cutesy for me. Especially since I've been used to, the numbered Final Fantasy games out there that always had that serious undertone and, deep adult meanings and stories to them and all that other fun stuff. But this one's definitely a lot more cutesy. Now, the reason why I say that this game is important because it shows the younger generations what an RPG traditionally was. It's a very good traditional RPG, even though it has new mechanics. And as I said, the new mechanics are kind of weird to me. They kind of put the whole Pokemon aspect in there where now you have the ability to catch the monsters you fight and stack them on top of your head to buff your character and to use the magic that they know. It's kind of weird, kind of offsetting, but I can see how it can get fatty later on, or get pretty cool later on, especially if you have a bunch of high-level monsters stacked on top of your head like a monster hat. I guess it could be cool. Now the mechanic in the game too is you can also unstack your monsters, so pretty much what that does, instead of taking your health pool be like 399 or 370, or I think it was at like 480 or something like that. You unstack your monsters and each monster gets its own HP pool instead of being stacked together, which, as I said, if you have a bunch of high-level monsters stacked on your head and you unstack them, I can see how you can eat through these enemies pretty quick. As I said, it's a little too gimmicky for me. I don't really enjoy the idea of equipping monsters. I really don't. But, as I said, the game might not exactly be for me, but I really do enjoy it, how they went back to kind of like the chibi, cutesy-looking type of Final Fantasy that we did get back in the day before we had all these awesome graphics. All the Final Fantasies, especially Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, and stuff like that, were these little chibi graphics that I enjoyed, but I'm not too sure about how these little chibi graphics are going to do with the story, whether they're going to go, a heavy, traditional Final Fantasy, story, or if they're going to try to go more cutesy, get kids interested in it. But enough about that. The game, at least the demo, is set up where you're in a dungeon. The dungeon is very linear, very straightforward, which, as I said before, is nice because it's kind of a throwback to how RPGs used to be. And it was a nice little, what's that called? I forget the word. Not narcissistic, nostalgic. It was a nice little nostalgic trip, back to an old Final Fantasy RPG. But I'm just not too sure about the system. Yeah, I'm really not. I'm still on the fence about it. I'm actually going to go back and play it tonight to try to catch the boss monster. Just to feel about it. I'm really torn. If you hear it in my voice, I'm really torn about this game because I want to like it, because it's one of those things that, as I said, it's like a classic Final Fantasy game. Even though, you can even choose a classic panel to select your attacks and stuff like that, which I really find cool and interesting. But at the same time, I'm not really sure how I feel about the battle mechanics and putting creatures on your head to help you fight. I'm not sure if there's an actual equipment system where you can get like a new dagger and new stuff, or if your monsters just give you kind of this ability to, pretty much instead of equipping armor, you equip monsters and level those up to increase your stats. Really not sure how it quite works yet, but I just have an off feeling about the game, and this off feeling is the fact that it's a little too cutesy for me. I mean, I'm older. I want something a little more heavier, a little more hard-hitting. But at the same time, it was really a great nostalgia trip to go back and play a Final Fantasy game that feels like an old-fashioned, you know, Final Fantasy game without any of these new fancy combat systems or stuff like that. And it really kind of offset me to the fact that all of the Final Fantasy characters that you run into, like I ran into Yuna at the starting of this video, or maybe, I don't know if I showed that now, but you run into Yuna, you run into Cecil, you run into, you know, Cloud and Squall, and all these other characters, and they're in their little chibi form, and I'm not really sure that I enjoy, you know, a chibi Cloud. You know, chibi Cloud in a picture is, oh, cute, chibi Cloud, but chibi Cloud, you know, being a badass, or a chibi Squall being all sad and depressed and emo, you know, is really not my bag. But if it's your bag, you'll probably really enjoy this game. Yeah, I just can't get over. I know I repeated myself multiple times, but I'm torn between the nostalgia, old style, old school RPG system that this is kind of introducing to the next generation of Final Fantasy fans, and the fact that the monster Pokemon collecting type thing is really off-putting to me at the same time as it is intriguing. And I'm really not sure. I mean, I really don't know how I feel about this game. I mean, I'm just not sure about it. I like it, but then I don't like it. I like bits and pieces of it. It's something that I would play and enjoy for the nostalgia of an old-style RPG, but at the same time, it's not something that I would enjoy as an adult gamer. I mean, once I figure, and it's one of those things that once you figure out that you use Libra to figure out how you're going to catch the monster, I mean, it pretty much makes it easy to catch monsters. Yeah. So I just don't know. I guess I just don't know. But please, down in the comments below, let me know what you think about the demo. Let me what you think about, you know, this type of Final Fantasy game, being that it's, you know, an old-fashioned Final Fantasy game meeting, you know, a new world clients. And please tell me if you're looking forward to it or if you're not, down in the comments below. That would be awesome. I love to hear from you guys, have a conversation about this stuff. But as far as I said, not sure about the game. I'm actually going to go back and play it right now after I finish up here, just to see how I feel about it. Not quite sure. I mean, it's fun, it's pretty, you can speed up the battles, so you're not sitting there being bored like you were, you know, in the original Final Fantasy. Because I'm sorry, the original Final Fantasy RPG games were, at times, long-winded, and you wish that the battles would progress a little faster than they actually were. Which is nice, because they do give you a fast-forward button in this game to speed that up a little bit. But I guess that's another issue, is the game is mechanically sound. The game is based on an old-school, you know, Final Fantasy RPG system with a few new tweaks and stuff like that. So the game is sound. The gameplay that I experienced during the beta, or the demo, is their sound. It's a good gameplay, good, you know, graphics, good soundtrack, but I'm just not sure about the not anesthetics, that puts you to sleep, but not too sure about how it looks, how it feels from the visuals and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm getting too meta at this point in time. And that's the end of my rant. Gonna leave you with a little bit of a battle here. I'm Just Joe. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, subscribe. You know what to do. But as always, have fun and be safe. And if you want to comment, please leave a comment in my comment section below, because I'm really interested in what people feel about this game, whether you be a young gamer or an old gamer. But as always, have fun and be safe. Thanks for watching.